Level 1, poverty. You wake up and the first thought you have is not what you want to do today. It is what you can afford to do today. Everything in your life is a calculation. The bus or walking. Eating now or eating later. Paying this bill or that one. Never both. Here is something most people outside this level never understand. Being poor is expensive. You cannot buy in bulk because you cannot afford the upfront cost. You pay more per unit for everything. You cannot buy the cheaper car that would save you money long term because you cannot afford the down payment. You rent furniture because buying it outright is impossible and end up paying 3 times its value over time. The financial system was not built for people at this level. It was built to keep them here. In the United States alone, over 37 million people live below the poverty line. That is almost the entire population of Canada. You are not lazy. You are not failing. You are running a race with different rules than everyone else. Level 2, working class. You have more than level 1, but not by as much as people think. You have a job, a steady one, maybe 2. Your bills get paid, mostly. There is food in the fridge. There might even be a holiday once a year, if everything goes right. But there is no safety net. One unexpected expense, a medical bill, a car breaking down, a week off sick, and everything starts to wobble. Over 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Not poor people, working people, people with jobs and salaries and mortgages. The difference between level 1 and level 2 is stability. The similarity between them is fragility. At this level, you trade your time directly for money. Every hour you don't work is an hour you don't earn. There is no passive income. There is no portfolio. There is no safety net that doesn't have a hole in it. You work hard, you do everything right, and you are still one bad month away from real trouble. Level 3, middle class. This is the level most people in wealthy countries are told they should want. And it is genuinely comfortable. You own your home or are working toward it. You have a car. Your children go to decent schools. You take holidays. You save a little each month. But here's the tension nobody talks about. The middle class spends almost everything it earns maintaining the appearance of the middle class. The mortgage, the car payments, the private school fees, the holidays, the clothes, the restaurants, the image. There is money coming in, but it is almost immediately spoken for. True financial freedom, the ability to stop working and maintain your lifestyle, is still out of reach for most people at this level. The average middle-class person retires with enough to live modestly for about 15 years. Which sounds fine until you realize people are living to 90. At this level, you are comfortable, but you are not free. Level 4, upper middle class. This is where things start to genuinely shift. You are earning well above average. Your home is paid off or close to it. You have investments, a pension, savings that could absorb a real emergency without panic. For the first time, money is working for you instead of the other way around. You are not rich, but you are secure in a way that the previous 3 levels never felt. Here is the number that separates this level from the one below. You could stop working for 6 months and your life would not fall apart. That is rarer than most people think. At this level, you also start to experience something new: access. Better healthcare because you can afford better insurance or go private. Better legal representation if you need it, better schools, better everything. Not because the system changed, but because money quietly unlocks a parallel version of every system that works significantly better. You are beginning to understand that there are 2 versions of most things: the one everyone else uses, and the one you now have access to. Level 5, millionaire. The word millionaire sounds extraordinary. In reality, in 2024, it is more common than ever. There are over 22 million millionaires in the United States alone. But here is what having $1 million actually means in practice. If you have $1 million in assets and you live in an expensive city, own a home, have children, and a normal lifestyle, you are not dramatically different from level 4. The million is mostly tied up in your house. True millionaire freedom, the kind where money is genuinely no longer a daily consideration, starts closer to 3 to 5 million in liquid assets. At that point, something fundamental changes. You stop trading time for money entirely. Your investments generate enough each year to cover your lifestyle without touching the principal. You wake up and the money is already working while you sleep. For the first time in your life, your time is completely your own. That is not a financial shift. That is an identity shift. Most people at this level quietly disappear from the lives they used to have. The friends from before feel different. The conversations feel different. The problems people around you stress about, you no longer share. Money did not just change your bank account, it changed your world. Level 6, multi-millionaire / upper wealthy. At 10, 20, $50 million, a new set of rules applies. You do not fly commercial unless you choose to. You have people who manage your money, your property, your problems. For the first time, other people's time is your resource. You have a financial advisor, a personal assistant, a property manager, a lawyer on retainer, people whose entire job is to make sure your life runs smoothly, so you never have to think about the things everyone else spends their energy on. Here is the fact that surprises most people. At this level, you will never again stand in a queue for anything that matters. Medical appointments, restaurant reservations, airport security, event tickets. There is always a faster version available to you, and slowly, without noticing it, you begin to lose the ability to understand what normal life feels like, not out of arrogance, simply because you haven't experienced it in so long. Level 7, billionaire. There are just over 2,600 billionaires in the entire world. In a global population of 8 billion people, that is 0.00003%. At this level, money has stopped being a thing you think about entirely. You do not check prices. You do not check your bank balance. You do not think about whether you can afford something, because the concept of not being able to afford something no longer exists for you. What changes at this level is not lifestyle. It is power. A billionaire does not just live differently. They operate on a different plane of reality entirely. They can call the leader of a country and get through. They can fund a political campaign and reshape the outcome of an election. They can decide to build a rocket ship and actually do it. The decisions made by the people at this level affect millions of people who will never know their name. Here is the number that puts it in perspective. If you earn $60,000 a year, a solid middle-class salary, and you saved every single dollar without spending a cent, it would take you over 16,000 years to save $1 billion. That is not wealth. That is a different category of existence. The richest 1% of the world own more wealth than the remaining 99% combined. That is not only a statistic, that is the world you are living in.